y'all. Welcome to Mecca's Hoodoo Mecca. I am Mecca. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. I'm so excited to be here to sit down with you guys every Wednesday and talk about something that is so near and dear to my heart, which is hoodoo, conjure, and ancestral veneration. Before we get started and get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I do want to ask you to take some time out after you get done with this video, of course, and click through some of the awesome, talented, dope creators that are featured on this channel during this weekly show. These people are some of the most knowledgeable people that I have ever had the chance to interact with, and I'm so excited to be able to share a platform with them. And also shout out to Betsy and Henry for giving me this opportunity. So, like I said, I will be sitting down with you guys every Wednesday to talk about hoodoo. Hoodoo is something that is very near and dear to my heart. I cannot picture my life or what my life would be like without hoodoo. It's one of those things that was very much so ingrained into me as a child, and I continue to hold these practices very close to me as an adult as well, and as I go through my spiritual journey on this plane. So if you don't know what hoodoo is, don't worry, I got you. We're gonna talk about it. But hoodoo is, I guess the best word that I can use to describe hoodoo is a conglomerate, okay? Hoodoo is a conglomerate of African American traditions that are centered around, but not limited to, liberation, protection, and ancestral veneration, which means uplifting our ancestors, okay? So hoodoo was first practiced by the enslaved Africans in the American South. And a lot of the people who practice hoodoo were practicing out of a need of wanting to hold on to traditions that were brought over from Africa. And when we were practicing these traditions are not traditions that we were able to practice out loud. They are things that were punishable by even death. Okay, so a lot of people that you see practice hoodoo will practice it and not really be out loud about it. It's a very secretive tradition. We hold these things very close to us and we pass them down from generation to generation. Now, a way that you can see hoodoo being practiced is through the Black church. Like I said, a lot of things that we practice we hid in the Black church. And so it's very interesting to see the parallels of hoodoo and the Black church as a tradition as a whole, okay? So hoodoo was birthed out of a need for liberation, for protection, and for the need and the want to connect and uplift our ancestors. And that is the lens that I will be talking to you guys about as we traverse through this series, okay? So, hoodoo is one of those things where we really use what we had around us and at our disposal. And that is not anything that has changed. You will hear me talk a lot about roots, which is like plants and different types of things that we use to be able to, is manipulate the word I want to use. Let's say shift the atmosphere in our favor, okay? As enslaved Africans, we did not have a lot of things at our disposal. So we had to use what we had to create the outcomes that we want. And that is what hoodoo is. Now, at the base of hoodoo, in which is very, 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 very important, is ancestral veneration. We hold our ancestors very close to us. A lot of people tend to think that when we have loved ones that pass, be it our parents, friends, siblings, whomever, that is the end of the road, that we have no more contact with them, and that's not true. In hoodoo, we uplift our ancestors by different like a plethora of different ways. We have ancestral altars, which we will get into in another video, and just holding them close, doing things that they loved to do when they were here, talking to them, communicating with them, and just letting them know that they're not forgotten about and that their legacy and their memory will live on. And again, that is what I will be talking about as we go through this series, okay? So, a little bit about me. I am 32 years old, and like I said, I have been in the tradition for most of my life, even before I knew that there was a name for it, because for a lot of my life, I practiced not knowing that this was called hoodoo. It was just a way of living for me. And I really, really, really got serious in my practice around 2006, 2007, when my grandfather passed away. And My grandfather honestly prepared me for his passing long before he ever passed away, and I think that made it easier for me. And naturally, I just started to do things like I had pictures of him and us on my dresser. I had flowers on my dresser. I had little trinkets that used to be belong to him on my dresser. And I just remember every day I would get up and I would just talk to him as if he was still here. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out, okay? There is nothing more calming than to be able to connect with someone who you've had access to your entire life and know that they're still in your corner and that they're still rooting you on. I am almost 100% sure that I would not have gotten through a lot of the things that I went through in my life had it not been for that connection with my grandfather. So that is one thing that keeps me going, knowing that there is a tribe of people who share the same bloodline as me, that are rooting for me, that are protecting me, and that are carrying me through every aspect of my spiritual journey and just my life's journey in general. So what we're going to be talking about in this series is how you can access your ancestors, okay? Everybody has ancestors, whether you acknowledge them or not. Everybody has spirit guides, whether you acknowledge them or not. But I want to help you tap into and learn how to honor and revere them and how to venerate them. So, if that is something that you are interested in, please stay tuned. I'm here every Wednesday to share all of the things that I've learned with you. And if you guys have any questions, suggestions, make sure you leave them in the comments and I will definitely be answering. Also, I am going to have you guys hooked up with all of my social media so that you can follow me on all of my social media and we can connect. So if you guys have any questions, you can ask me that way. Also, I am a tarot reader, so one thing that I like to do is I like to connect with your spirit guides and I like to connect with your ancestors during readings to give you guys a more fluid and juicy reading. Okay, so if you would like to book a reading with me, you can go to my website, Mecca.com, and click the divination tab, and it will take you straight to my available readings. Okay, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will talk to you next week. Peace.